Hi, I'm Michael Shanks and I'm here in my lab Metamedia at Stanford. You may have met my avatar archaeologue already in your tour of the Dante. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but my schedule means that at the moment I'm somewhere over Alaska. Anyway, I'm going to refer quite closely to my notes here so that this intervention of mine in your gathering keeps the time. For me, it started with the Presence Project. Lynn was one of the artists who were going to work with us on this theme of presence. I found out that Stanford had 90-odd boxes of Lynn's archive stashed away as part of the special collections, and she didn't want them to just sit there and moulder. Lynn wanted to animate her archive. This was music to my ears. Music to my ears because I'm an archaeologist. I'm fascinated by what's left of the past, its presence with us here now, and what we do with those remains. An aside, you might think that archaeologists discover the past. They dig it up, they survey and find stuff. No, they don't. Archaeologists don't discover the past, they work on what remains. This means we're all archaeologists now. Now, one site where such work on the past happens is the archive. With Henry Lowood, my friend at Stanford Library, and a PI on Life Squared, I see us moving into a new archival era. Because we're in Silicon Valley, we've called this Archive 3.0. I'm going to read from our website to tell you what we mean by this notion of Archive 3.0. Archives. We need the past. Memories make us who we are. And when there are no memories, we have diaries, written accounts and documents, pictures perhaps, and above all, things. History and who we are lies in the material remains of the past. In archives. Archives are the storerooms of humanity, what has come down to the present. An archive is a place where records are kept, a record so preserved, to place or store in an archive. That is, the architecture of access to the remains of the past. A little bit about archive, architecture, and archaeology. The prefix arche, which is found in archive, architecture, and archaeology, the words, is Greek for beginning, origin, foundation, source, first principle, first place of power, authority, sovereignty. It represents a starting point or founding act in both an ontological sense, this is whence it began, and a nomological sense. This is whence it derives its authority. So archives are all about narratives of origin, identity, and belonging, and the politics of ownership, organization, access, and use. Archive 3.0. We're moving into a new phase in the history of archives. Archive 1.0 were the bureaucracies of the early city-states. Temple and palace archives with inscription as an instrument of management. Archive 2.0, the mechanization and digitization of archival databases, with the aim of fast, easy, and open access based upon efficient dendritic classification and retrieval. Archive 2.0 is associated also with statistical analysis that can be performed upon the data. Archive 3.0, new prosthetic architectures for the production and sharing of archival resources, the animated archive. This involves a re-emphasis on personal affective engagement with cultural memory. There's an emphasis on interface, but not solely as a human factor of ergonomics or behavioral efficiency, conceptual transparency. It's an issue now of richness of engagement with the remains of the past. Hence, Lynn's piece at the Dante in 1972 seemed perfect for an experimental work in Archive 3.0, animating, reanimating an archive. A few words about architecture, disposition, arrangement, and ordering. Think of the corridor. Maybe you've already walked down the one in our Dante hotel. The corridor with doors opening off of it. The magazine. And the magazine, this particular architectural arrangement of doors and corridors, was an invention of the Near Eastern temple bureaucracies 5,000 years ago. we're now reanimating this technology of documentation. We're talking with Pat Hanrahan and Vladlen Coltoun, computer scientists here at Stanford, about these online prosthetic architectures such as Second Life. Pat and Vladlen are building their own. A question that fascinates all of us. Pat, Vladlen, Henry, myself. What if a building could remember? And they want to build this functionality into their online world. What if the corridors could speak of traces retained within their fabric? Well, they kind of do. Corridors kind of do. We're constantly using our archaeological imagination to piece together the past, like in Life Squared, to pull together the remnants of lives past. Now, this is intimately about place and site, or rather, think of a hybrid, Bernard Tschumy's place-event, the combination of event and site. Think of it forensically, this notion of site, of place event. At a scene of crime, anything could be relevant. Anything could be evidence, data, information, upon which a reconstruction, reanimation of event can take place. This suspicious attitude towards site is part of what I see as a broad archaeological sensibility we all now share. It involves an anxiety about the presence and absence of the past. We seek sense in chaotic remnants, seeking a signal in the noise, a figure emergent from background. And it is profoundly about materialities, mouldering ruin, and not least, a sense of decay of the self. Documentation is at the heart of this archaeological sensibility. But I don't mean documentation as record. Documentation is as much performative as it is about media and information. Walking corridors, locking and unlocking doors, marking checklists, and so much more. We see all of this in Life Squared. Archival systems struggle to manage disorder, to build order. In this, they're part of the utopia that was and still is the cosmopolis. The cosmopolis. That is, the city, as polis, and polis defined of the unity of people and urban fabric, the body politic, rooted in cosmos, in order, the order of the universe. So, in Life Squared, we deliberately avoided a mimetic architecture, that is, a photographic reconstruction of the Dante Hotel 1972. No, the Dante Hotel 2007 is a testament to decay and reanimation. Archives have always been such mixed realities, hybrids of past and present, what we were and could be, realities and hopes, materialities and immaterialities, presences and absences. Think of the remains of the past as both traces and vestiges. By trace, I mean a track or footprint, the past present in its absence. Traces require iconography, that is, the inscription of footprints, tracing them out, backtracking. By vestige, I mean decayed remnant, a bit of the past gone, but present here with us now. Vestiges require archaeology, efforts to pull together, to reassemble, and so regenerate what is gone. Iconography and archaeology. These are knowledge practices, memory practices, matters of design, designing past and present for the future. They're matters of technology, of building architectures and machines that hold back the entropic loss of everything we hope to be. That's enough, I think, from me about Lynn's inspirational work. I hope you enjoy your visit. Thank you.